It's time for another review. Hello everyone, thanks once again for tuning into the channel. So we're going to take a look at Spider-Man Miles Morales. This particular outfit is based off of one of the selections that you can do in the PlayStation game Spider-Man Miles Morales. This is the 2020 suit. I gotta say I was pretty excited about getting this suit because when it comes to Hot Toys figures, and just me personally, I like getting figures that Hot Toys does where they do something unique. For instance, like when they first introduced the Hulk figure, that was the first figure that I had seen where they actually put like a skin over the joints so that you couldn't see the joints. And so, you know, just unique things like that, like the Captain America suit where he had the magnetic shield. There's only they only made one like that. So whenever they do unique things like that, that's the stuff that grabs my attention. This one, I particularly wanted to get this because they're not using batteries in this one. They're now using a USB. So I'm kind of curious to see how that is going to play out. But nevertheless, I also really like the suit. I mean, out of all the suits, I gotta say this was like one of my top 5 suits for the Spider-Man Miles Morales. So I'm curious to see how they pull this off and, you know, look at the materials and everything. So I gotta say I'm pretty excited about this one. Nothing really unique about the box other than the front graphic. There's really not a whole lot going on around the sides, but still, I like when Hot Toys, the way they design their boxes to where they all just look different and unique. So this one actually has another one that has a little window, so you can slip that up and be able to see the figure itself. So honestly, I think this is a pretty cool design, for the box. So anyway, let's go ahead and let's jump into getting this guy out of the box, and then of course we'll see how he looks on camera. These kind of figures are kind of a challenge to me when it comes to my photography, simply because of the black suit. Because a lot of times, I mean, you'll see a lot of my photos, for those of you that know how I take my pictures, I use a lot of black backgrounds. So sometimes it's a little bit of a challenge to take a figure that's wearing black and put it in a background that is also black. So that's a bit of a challenge. But let's get this guy out so we can take a look at everything that he comes with. So I gotta say, this is actually pretty cool off the bat. It looks good. Let's see if we can get this out. I can already see the little backdrop that he comes with, so I'm curious to see how that's all going to set up. Based off of the pictures that I've seen, it looks pretty good as far as having like a full-on setup. I like when Hot Toys kind of does things where they add to the displays as well, and it's not just some plain backdrop. But taking a look at the figure, I'd say it looks really nice. Let's get this plastic out of here. Give you guys a close-up of the look. Let's remove that. And I can already tell you right now, I like the material of that jacket. That looks really, really good. I like the design of the coat. Again, this was one of the reasons why I like choosing the suit when I was playing the game, because the outfit is just unique. It's a pretty cool little outfit and everything. The shoes look pretty nice. That's a nice design for the shoes. So I can already tell right now this is going to be a pretty fun guy to pose. So we'll try out the battery situation in a moment. But first impressions there, I definitely like the way this jacket is designed. Again, this was really the reason why I chose him. Chose this outfit in the game, because it's just a really cool outfit. And we can see that that's a little magnetic piece, so that's really good. So you can see how that works. That's pretty cool. And let's see, well, we also have some other facial expressions for these pieces here that you'll be able to swap out. But that's real clean. I like that. That is a really, really nice design, and we're going to see how well that shines up through the light, especially when it comes to taking the photos. We're going to see how well that light comes through for the photos. See how it does. I'm definitely looking forward to doing that. This is the Spider-Man that you get like when you're doing the training missions. This is the Spidey that you get when he's sitting up on top talking to Miles as you're doing the little challenges. So there's no light in this, so we're gonna see how unique we can get some light to actually shine through on this guy when it comes to photos, because I definitely want to get something where he gets some kind of light, and also do it in a way to where it doesn't look like the light is shining on him. So that's going to be pretty challenging to see how we're going to get some light showing out at. Thankfully it's clear, so we can actually get some pretty cool light coming from that, and we'll just see how well it turns out. Just like the Star Wars figures that you get, where you pretty much get the same generic base that they're standing on, it's the same thing when it comes to Spider-Man. No matter which Spider-Man figure you get, you always get the same webs and everything, so it's pretty much nothing unique there. The hands look pretty good. Show you a close-up of the hands. I like the fact that they're also clear, so you can perhaps get some lights shining through that. We'll see what we can come up with lighting for that. But I do like the gloves and everything. It's a really good design, and yeah, we'll see what we can come up with that kind of stuff. So I'm really not going to go through all the hands because they're, I mean, you pretty much get the same as all the other Spider-Man figures. The hands are you know, generally the same. It's just the, I mean, as far as the gestures in the hands, they're still pretty much the same ones. It's just, you know, the fact that they're different hands or different gloves, so they have to design them differently. But overall, it's the same gestures for all of them. There's really nothing unique about them. So that's pretty much all that we have for there. Let's take a look at the other piece here, which we're going to definitely set all of this up and see how it comes out. But that's all of the other pieces that you get, and that's actually pretty cool. All the little screens and everything. This actually looks pretty good. So we'll definitely get all of that set up and see how it looks on camera. But it actually looks like some pretty cool pieces to set up. So we'll get that all on display, and definitely the backdrop to go with that as well. So yeah, so let's get everything together, get everything all set up, and then we'll jump into some photos and see what we come up with. Okay, so here we have the final setup with everything. I have to say that it was not really an easy task to get the setup together. I didn't even bother putting the Spider-Man on the top, because I don't know, just kind of putting everything together. It was like I said, it just wasn't an easy task. But the overall thing, I like the way the whole setup looks. I like the wires. I like how they give the impression that everything is connected. So I think everything looks really good, and I am overall satisfied with it. I will say, matter of fact, let me show you how I did this, just so you can see what the instructions are as far as what to expect. So everything behind here is all, you know, has the letters on it, so you can be able to match up everything and match up all of the pieces and put them in the right place. This really, I mean, it's nothing more than just really thick cardboard. That's really all it is. But when you put everything together, I mean, from the front, that's a pretty good setup. I mean, really, that's all it is. It's just a backdrop for your figure, which, I mean, this is just a nice thing to have, and it's a little bit more intricate than the other setups that we normally get with some of the other figures that, you know, come with backdrops. But I mean, the instructions were pretty straightforward with everything. I mean, it's easy to follow. Just match up the letters and put everything together. And, you know, again, it looks really good as far as the end result. But just the way everything, when you put it all together, I don't know, it just kind of looks, it looks delicate. It looks sturdy on camera. It looks sturdy when somebody is looking at it. You know, when they come by and visit, like if you want to show it off or whatever, it looks sturdy. But when you're actually putting it together, you can see just how delicate it is as far as putting the wires and everything, especially this part here as far as the laptop and everything. That is the most delicate part out of the overall, the whole thing. But everything else is pretty straightforward and pretty easy. I don't know if you can tell, but I do have the light on. I'm going to zoom in just so you can see. I'm pretty sure there's a number of people who've already kind of done this thing, but I'm going to let you get a closer look at the eyes and everything with the lights off, just so you can see how everything looks. So that's pretty much, you know, what you get in the light. But most likely you won't really have it on display like that, but I can at least, you know, dim the lights a little bit so you can kind of get a look of everything. And as you can see, even with as dim as my lights are, you can still see that it's pretty lit up. It still looks pretty good. So even if you had a low light, you don't have to be in complete darkness in order to be able to see it. Even with the low light, you can still see it on. So I'll show you the difference if I have the light completely off, and you can see how it's not, let's see if I can get it to turn off. Oh, wrong side. I had to switch on the wrong side. So anyway, that's how he would look, you know, without it being lit up at all. And then when you have light on, you can still be able to see the difference there as far as the lights. So it's like, you know, if you had the light dim enough, you can be able to see that, and it still looks pretty good. So overall, I am satisfied with the setup. It's pretty intuitive. I just wouldn't really have the cable like going back, because it's like that's the only difficult part as far as trying to hide it. But I mean, it is what it is, and it's actually pretty innovative to have that set up. My only concern is like having this thing on for a long time, only because I own the Hot Toys DeLorean, and that one gave you the option to either use batteries or use a power supply. And I had the power supply plugged in, I had the batteries running, and I just left the lights on. And you know, that's just me. I mean, when you buy it and you expect to have the power supply and you expect to be able to turn it on and just kind of leave it, you know, and the lights would be good. But over the course of time, the lights started to go dim. So I stopped it before it got any worse than that. So that is my only concern about this. If someone wanted to just have it on display and just have it on, I don't know how long those lights will last by having it on. That's the only thing they don't really mention, so I'm not really sure on how that would turn out. So I would suggest, you know, maybe have it on for a little bit, you know, when people come by, be able to see it, you know, if you want to show it off, something like that. And then after that moment, you turn it off and just like only turn it on occasionally. That's just my advice. And that's what I would do with this guy. I would not, even though I can use him and not have to worry about batteries, I still would not have him in a sense of just constantly having him on all the time. But having it like that, I think it looks really good. So anyway, that's the review for the figure. I'm going to go ahead and throw in some figures now. So, I'm sorry, throw in some pictures so that, you know, you guys can see what it looks like with this guy. I'm pretty curious to see how well these pictures come out. Thank you again for tuning into the channel, for subscribing. Again, like all the time, I always appreciate you guys. I also take this time now to mention the new Toytography magazine that I have produced. It is available now, so you guys can be able to pick that up, and it give you all kinds of tips and tricks on, you know, how to improve your toy photography. There's also some other toytographers that are being featured in the magazine that you can learn from as well. So it's a great magazine to pick up, and I strongly encourage you guys to check it out. So anyway, thank you again, and I will see you next time.